And welcome back to eBEFOREi Video Reviews. Today I'm sitting here with C-BEFOREi.
Hello.
And today we're going to take a look at the Transformers brand new Voyager Class. This is the studio series STARSCREAM, who's based off of
The Deluxe Dark of the Moon STARSCREAM.
And we're going to compare these two, Voyager and Deluxe, and this one's really big even for a Voyager. So I can't wait to show you this, compared to him, and also compared to some other figures in the line. All that and more, stay tuned. This is going to be good right here on eBEFOREi Video Reviews. All right, so here he is in his jet mode, and it's glorious. I don't know if you can tell up close, but there's so much to love about this mold, and let me just show you what I'm talking about. In-plastic molding on this is just absolutely great. Now, it's the same as the in-plastic molding in the original Deluxe, so I don't know if you can tell, but see the little squiggly lines right here? And then on the Deluxe version, they're in the exact same place. Every little bit of in-plastic looks very similar, so it's as if they took the molds themselves and just poured them a bit bigger. I'm not quite sure how that works. Maybe you do, but you get the idea. There's a little pen mark or defect on mine. No problem. Going around the rest of the jet, the paint is really like a two-tone gray. It's almost like they've got the color of the plastic, and then they just kind of spray painted over that in a darker color, and it really comes across quite nice. You've got the military and Decepticon symbol, which is very cool. Cockpit does not open like the Deluxe version. It's pegged right in, but you do have a little seat in there. So there's a closer look, but yeah, there's a seat, and it looks comfy if I were small and plastic. So yeah, there's the seat. Now, does he suffer from the undercarriage of basically a plane underneath? Well, funny you should ask. He's basically the same as the Deluxe, except some added pieces. So it's a little chunky down there, but it's not obviously a robot. Certainly not something where he stands up and is transformed. By no means does this mold do that at all. So all in all, very good. Other details, the nose cone is, it's softer plastic, but not real rubbery, like the Deluxe version was super rubbery. You know, they don't want you to poke your eye out. But on this, I'm not going to say that it's not rubbery-er, but it's definitely harder than I was expecting. On the back, his weapon is pegged down there, but you've got some nice in plastic where the jets are. So you can see how that turned out pretty darn good. Let's compare his size to some other figures. Here's a nice comparison to Combiner Wars Cyclonus, also in Voyager scale. Now, the thing with Cyclonus is he has this big piece that becomes a backpack, and it's really just a chunk of plastic to give it some extra height. And Starscream doesn't really have that. I mean, Starscream's bigger. It's really a nice-sized jet, but that gives you an idea of what you're talking about. Obviously, Silverbolt in Combiner Wars is going to be about the same size as Cyclonus, so you have a pretty nice look at the size of this jet. And again, I couldn't really be more pleased. He's just a big, chunky Voyager class jet screamer, and I dig it. And there's another shot of Deluxe class Starscream. Again, very similar mold, almost identical, but one's Voyager scale, one's Deluxe scale. The Voyager obviously is bigger. Now, where the soft plastic does come into play is his weapon, which I unpegged from the back of his jet. And you remember that there's two little peg holes here, and I had it pegged down here like that so it stows away in his jet mode. It's cool. There's, not a whole lot to it. Nice gold paint. You got a light silver soft plastic, and then the hard dark gray unpainted plastic. In-plastic molding is cool. I think that looks really nice. Except the underside, which looks hollow. But the top looks really nice. And I also like how the gold pieces are actually little rockets, little missiles, so that if he's holding this on his arm, he can blast this thing right into you. Very cool. All right, let's get him transformed. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come around to the bottom, and I'm going to collapse up the landing gear, and I'm also going to put these gear pieces. And by the way, I should mention while he's upside down that Starscream Dark of the Moon's Deluxe weapons fit down here as well. So if you want to peg in different types of weapons, you certainly can do that. You can take this and put it underneath. You can really put just about anything down there. But, there's that gimmick back from a long time ago. But, yeah, so you can do that. Anyway, back to transformation. I'm going to come back around to the other side, and I'm going to collapse the landing gear on the back as well, so landing gear is flat on all sides. Those gears do not spin, by the way. They are in plastic molded like the Deluxe. I'm going to come around to the top of the plane, and I'm just going to flatten out the two wings. And these are hard plastic as well, and they do stop. You see that they've got a little piece of in plastic molding right here that butts up against that right there, so you know exactly where to stop it. The Deluxe didn't have that, so you just kind of had to place it exactly right. This does the hard stuff for you. You don't have to worry about it. But we're going to go ahead and collapse that down. Now I'm going to take this whole back section, and I'm going to untab, and I'm going to have to lift this piece from under the wing. So I'm just going to take this and separate it like that. There's a little lip, and you want to untab that from the lip. Do the same thing over here so that this piece is on top. Collapse these back down again, and then I'm going to take this whole piece, dual hinge, and I'm going to bend that all the way up front like that. Now you want to take the wings, and you want to slide it up on the slider like that. Rinse and repeat on the other side. You can get underneath it, or get on the side, or get in the middle, whatever, doesn't matter. Just lift them up like that. We're going to turn it around and get to these pieces right here. I'm going to lift the whole thing up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and open this piece up, and then I'm going to get underneath that and lift that part up as well like that. That's an added bit, by the way. That was not on the old Deluxe. It was not. I'm going to do the same thing over here. You'll have a little more finesse than I do, but whatever. It's all good. Now I'm going to come around to this cover that covers up the head, and I'm going to lift that all the way back like that. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the crotch cover like that. Now I'm going to come in here and take the arm or the forearms, and I'm just going to open them up, kind of pull them out just like that. Then I'm going to take these pieces right here, and I'm going to bend the entire thing onto the outside, and you should have clearance. If you find that you have a clearance issue, just bend this out just a little bit, and then you'll have full clearance to bring that around without hitting anything. Then I'm going to take this side piece right here and lift that all the way up on that hinge, and then you can bend the arm forward at that point. Do the same thing over here. Hinge it up, bring the arm down, just kind of get that out of the way. Now I'm going to give myself a head reveal. I'm going to take this whole front piece of the plane, and I'm going to bring this down. Now the head is going to push up that panel, which is good. That's what we want. It's a giant head there. Lift the entire neck outside of the plastic. Then you can collapse that piece back down again. Once you have the front of the nose cone underneath this part right here, I'm going to take this panel and push it in like that. That doesn't snap into place. Kind of wish that it did, but it doesn't. But it's not going anywhere. It seems to be pretty solid. Now I'm going to take the wings and I'm going to lift them up like that. And you see on the new piece, there's a little peg and a peg hole on that new joint, and I'm going to fit them together just like that. Makes it nice and snug, and everything's real solid in place, which I love. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Find that peg hole, and you're good. Now I'm down to what become the legs, and I'm going to take these and I'm going to rotate them from the inside to the outside like that. And I'm going to chicken leg, so I'm going to take this part back like that, bring that piece down, point the toe, and I have the chicken leg basically ready to go. Do the same thing on the other side, point the toe, take the hands and open them up. And that's on a swivel joint. So I'm going to take that and just kind of open them up. And I think we're about done. So at this point, you're ready to stand up your STARSCREAM, pose up your STARSCREAM. And what a truly delightful version of STARSCREAM this is. Let's take a look all the way around. I think this might be my favorite version of movie STARSCREAM that we've ever gotten. I mean, he's so good. I really mean it. This guy looks fantastic all the way around. This is my movie STARSCREAM for sure. Let's get up close. The head sculpt looks really nice. I mean, it's movie STARSCREAM. Some people might not like it because they don't like the Bay stuff, but I love the Bay stuff. I really do. Now, you know, the movies are a different story. I like the movies fine, but I get the people that don't. I mean, they're kind of crude and, you know, they just are what they are. But the designs, I absolutely love the designs of the movie figures, and STARSCREAM's a big part of that, and I couldn't be happier. Look at all the detail. The new pieces that fill out that chest, really nice. Look at all this molding right here. Let me get in closer. I mean, there's so much detail. Look at that thing. Just looks great. Again, the chest is filled out real nice. Inside the arms, I mean, you've got all the gold paint. I mean, it's just so complex. I mean, complexity is something that the Transformers Bayverse figures really is what they're known for. They're vehicles that turn into very machine-oriented, just, really odd-looking stuff, very alien-looking. Now, that changed as we got to the last two movies. They got more of a humanoid look. But the first couple of films, they looked like this, and I really dig the look of this. I really do. As for his articulation, his head it's on a swivel, but there's a panel, so you can get some up movement, a little bit of a tilt down, not much, basically from here to here. And then you can rotate the head all the way around. The arms are a little bit different than the deluxe version. It does bend right here on this hinge, and then bends like that. If you want to kind of avoid the monkey curve or the arm, I mean, you can still bend it here and then move the fists. You can also swivel the top piece right here to get different configurations of the arms. But there's tons of posability. I mean, I've got the whole... Can you tell I'm a fan? On the legs, you do have... Really kind of feels like light ratchet. I don't think it is a ratchet, but it kind of has a little bit of that feel. But there's a two-way bend right here, the swivel, and then, of course, the chicken leg that you all are used to. And you can put this all the way back and then lift that forward if you like that look. I like to kind of put it about halfway, kind of at an angle, and then bend the leg down, which gives him a little bit more height. Not that he needs it. This is a really tall figure. You'll see when I size compare him. Back to the arms, I don't think I finished that, but he has a bend in the elbow aside from the top that I've already shown you. And then his hand is on a ball joint. And he also has that joint here, so you can do the transformation. You can put the whole little wrist piece down if you want to. Lots of posability. Weapons, you've got a peg here on both arms. I have his weapon here on that side. There's also lots of storage on his back. If you don't want that on his arm, you can put it on his back and it would look just as well there. And you can turn his whole wrist around, or his whole forearm around like that. You can move the hand up to the back, so plug that back in. Just tab that in. Then you can take his weapon right here and plug it in. Plug it in, plug it in. So now he's got a weapon arm, which is kind of cool. I don't think I'm going to display him that way, but certainly if you choose to, you can do that. Let's get him sized up to some other figures. There's his deluxe counterpart, and again, he's just a really big size Voyager. One of the things I was really trying to explain with the arm is that on the deluxe, this was on a ball joint, so you could move that whole thing kind of around like that, and this is on a dual joint, not a ball joint, so you got a little bit different type of movement here. It doesn't restrict you in any way, but you got to move it around to get a little bit more of the posability that the deluxe could do with his arms. But you can achieve it without really any problem. Just kind of different in how it moves around. So there he is side by side with the deluxe, and you can see what these extra pieces do to fill in the gaps right here. That was the only problem with this Starscream, is he was a little gappy in the front, and this one isn't like that at all. That fills it out quite nicely. You can also see just how much effort was put into this from a detail standpoint. Yeah, he had the tattoos and the paint on the back of this one, which is different than the Voyager, but these pieces weren't painted. That was kind of a weird brown color. I didn't really dig that. Here we're back to silver, and we've got all this filled in paint. It just really, I couldn't be more pleased. Okay, this Voyager Optimus was really known for his height in robot mode and a really tiny truck mode, but you can see Starscream is still taller than this version of Prime. Putting him side by side with Nitro Zeus, he is less humanoid looking, but definitely taller than Nitro Zeus. Here he is with the Last Night Voyager Megatron. Yeah, he's taller than Megatron too, which a little weird, but we have a leader class version of Studio Series Megatron coming soon, and I think that's going to scale absolutely perfect. You can see how much the designs have changed, though, from the humanoid-type figures of the most recent versions, the most recent movie version figures, and how alien and really strange-looking the first couple of films looked. I really like it. Here's some other Studio Series comparisons, and he's a lot taller than Deluxe Bumblebee for sure, and nowhere near as tall as Leader Class Studio Series Grimlock, who's just a beast in every mode. Studio Series Grimlock is amazing, and I definitely recommend if you see Leader Grimlock to pick him up. But as this is a STARSCREAM review, let's get back to it. Now, the Studio Series boxes are known for having little dioramas on the inside, and just so you can see what I'm doing, I'm pulling this out. And they basically come with these neat little stands that depict a scene from the movie in which they're from. And in Starscream's case, he was battling in the city. So you can get a thing like that going. If you've got a display big enough to hold these dioramas, then cool, go for it. I don't, so I'll be leaving that in the box. But it's cool that they added something to it, a little bonus. The way that it is, it depicts what movie they're from. So this was Transformers 1, or Transformers. And the red platform that they stand on. And then the background of what was going on at the time. So if I get in a little bit closer, maybe if I had something like that with the camera, and you see the jets in the background, and the fire, and the flames, and the chaos, because that's make-believe, and you can do that if you pick up this figure for your home. Anyway, so that's my detailed review of Studio Series Voyager Class Starscream. As if you couldn't tell, I'm a big fan of this figure. I'm a big fan of Studio Series in general. I've been lucky enough to find just about everyone I was looking for so far in Wave 1. And Starscream's up there with some of my favorite. Starscream is fantastic. Grimlock, huge fan of. Leader Class Blackout is awesome. His helicopter mode's massive. So if you've got the space to display a big figure in alt mode, I definitely recommend that. Some of the deluxes are cool, and just go shopping and see what you find out there. But Studio Series gets definitely a thumbs up from me, and I can't wait to show you some more figures coming soon. Anyway, that's this episode of eBEFOREi Video Reviews. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you're a fan of my reviews or just want to support me in general, all you need to do is click subscribe, turn on all alerts for my channel, leave a thumbs up, and comment. That helps me out a lot, especially if you just thumb up a video. The more thumbs up on a video or likes that a video gets lets other people perusing YouTube go, oh, okay, that's a video that I think that I can trust. And that helps me a lot. So anyway, you can follow me all over social media. I'm on Facebook.com/eBEFOREi, Twitter and Instagram @eBEFOREiNet. I have a Facebook group I'll put in the description. And until next time, we'll see you back here again real soon.